Oh yeah,
Meant to change it.
Giles, we are back at it again, round two, but with a different topic. Yo, man, I was just thinking about going to Miami, Florida, dog.
Miami,
Vacation spot
Florida.
down there. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah. I told you that though. I mean, like it could be me, you, and you know what I mean, few people. You know what I'm saying. Shout out to Marley and Josh and Malcolm. You know what I'm saying, and Cal,
Hmm.
all of us, man. Like
Miami,
we will
yeah,
be
we could
there.
do Miami, man.
Miami, Florida.
Catch a little spot down there. I don't see why not. I want to check out how the beach look down there too. How the
Man, the
beach look,
beaches and the
food.
women down there too, and the drinks. Woo! Miami, Florida.
Mm-mm-mm. You're gonna feel like you're out of the country, man. They got everything there.
Let me tell you something.
They got all types of
Between
flavor, man. They got chocolate, vanilla. They got a mozzarella
uh,
supreme, man. They got everything down there.
raspberry,
They got everything, man. I'm telling you, they got blueberry, raspberry.
oh man, white chocolate, ugh,
Shaking my
paste.
head, man. They got Oreos down there, man. They got it all.
Oh,
They got
what
the
kind of
Haitians
birthday
down
cake
there.
there?
They
Ooh,
got the Haitian woman,
Haitian.
man, that cook you some oxtails, then they take you back to the room, man.
Ooh, ugh, I'm ready for it though.
Mm-mm-mm.
All right, man. So here's a question, man, that I got for you. What has your dark days done to you?
Dark days done to me.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you
Your
mean the days that I'm feeling a little bit off, right?
oh well, I mean, well that and certain things too. Like when you're in your darkest days, what what made you like become stronger?
Oh man, what made me become stronger is probably just surrounding myself with. I would just say surrounding myself with people that like to support you, people that like to. I forgot the word for it, but I guess people who express more empathy because those people seem more human like, you know. So you got to surround yourself with people that are a lot like you. Even that, you got to exude the same energy that you want to see too. That's how you program people too. A lot of times, the more I feel like the more you teach people, the more they learn and they start to yes, y'all start to what's the word I'm looking for? Like y'all start to heal each other in a sense too. So 9 times out of 10, if I am going through a dark day, it's probably because I'm dealing with an inconsiderate type person that's not really they're not either empathetic or they're just not like self-concerning. I mean, nobody wants to see nobody complain about issues that they don't want to fix or they have no business being in. But at the same time, it's like most days I find comfort in some sort of happiness, so I play some sort of music that'll bring me closure. I play games every now and then that'll bring me closure. Let me see what else I do. I'll go for my walks, find some good food. Or 9 times out of 10, I notice if I'm having a dark day, I usually just call up somebody that I feel comfortable with, or I text somebody I feel comfortable with, just have a conversation too. That would, put me at ease a lot of times too. Because there's no point in sitting inside of your mind conjuring up stories that don't make sense and suffering from it where you can always look for an escape. Like we should learn to be a little bit more lenient on ourselves instead of suffering from the or giving ourselves the full consequence. But nine times
Oh
out of
yeah.
ten, usually I don't have dark days. I would say I don't know. I think it depends on the person when you think about it, but I've learned to handle it a lot better nowadays. Like I feel like I have a new method of dealing with toxic people nowadays. Like you don't have to cut them off, but it's just you don't give them much to feed on, if that makes sense. So I don't want to say don't leave yourself open around toxic people, but it's like don't give them too much like personal narratives about yourselves or
Or too
too
much
much
power.
too much yeah that too. Don't give them like too
Yeah.
much control over a situation where they feel like they have, leverage over you. Like don't give them something they feel like they have to compete over. Like just try to keep it cordial, and then over time I feel like their ego dies down a little bit, because they don't have nothing to feast on. Those type of people.
Um, man, you see, when it came to me in my dark days, it was just like, like I was okay. So what I would normally do is I would normally go inside of a room and I would turn the TV off, the lights out, the whole 9 yards. Everything is dark, and
You mean like
then
completely dark, or
just visualize. Oh yeah, completely dark. So once that situation goes down, like then all the memories start starts to flash like in the dark, and then as that does that to you, it's like all right, now what can you do to try to like overcome it? Because like I've met very toxic people, and I'm talking about toxic to the point where like we just stopped talking as of like completely. Hell, like there's still certain people that that I've not talked to like since like 3 4 years ago.
I
You know what
think
I
the
mean?
most toxic person you can meet is the person that carries the victim complex. So they always like to see themselves at the heart of the problem, but then at the same time, since they don't take responsibility for it, it's easy for them to blame you because it makes them seem like they're the good guy. That's the most toxic person you could ever meet. They're the best manipulators. And a lot of times that's a narcissistic personality too, where they feel like they have to win by what was it, no means necessary or something like that, all means
Yeah,
necessary or something like that.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Oh man, it's just so
But I'm,
terrible dealing with those kinds of people, man. It's the worst.
but for me though, I am glad though, like I mean, like that my dark days, like they came because not only did it motivate me to be a better man though, but at the same time, like just had me like to just like open my eyes like as to like man, like you don't want to put yourself in that position no more, and you don't want to be in that position anymore.
Well, you also get to see where your boiling point is at too. So a lot of times when you're dealing with those type of people that are good at pushing your buttons and whatnot. Sometimes I think you have a few mechanisms. So it's either you hold your tongue, you hold your fist, or it's like you try to hold yourself back from emptying out
Uh,
on them. I mean, a lot of times it takes a lot of willpower to do that for you to well, obviously holding yourself back physically, like holding your fist is better than holding your tongue back because well, when
yeah,
you think about it, they say the tongue is mightier than the sword too. So it's like it's either they can be comparable, or sometimes if you could say the right words to them too, you can damage them psychologically a little bit more than just beating them with your fist. But you live and you learn. You learn how to discern what type of people prioritize you and what type of people actually are concerned about you. You actually get to see what people are on your team, and you get to see what people what type of people actually are looking at the benefit off your situation the most because they feel like they have something to gain off of it. Like some people in life, they're looking to win the race on the roller coaster, and then some of us are just taking everything in at once at a slow pace, the way it's meant to be.
yeah. See, because let me tell you something though, right? To make this short, well, to make what I'm about to say, short though. So, and I'm not saying nobody's name, but this is one person like this is one female that I've done like like things with. You know what I mean? And you and I both know like exactly what the heck I am talking about here. So one day she tried to get me for my pockets, and I told her no, right? so
How am I not surprised, man? Try to get him for his pockets, man.
So decided to cut me off, like as of like she blocked me on social media, she blocked me like period, right? 2 years 2 years later, she decides to hit me up and said, "Oh, hey Sean, I have not heard from you in so long. How you been?" As of
Did
right
you
there,
just
like,
hold on? Did you just say that she blocked you?
and she
She
and she
reached out to you again,
hmm 2 years later.
so she's not willing to right her mistake and then even acknowledge it at the same time.
That's
How
just
does
how
how does that even make
that
any sense at all? Like you come out of nowhere like nothing even happened.
that's just
There
how
was no problem. Like, hey
cold
Sean,
people
I
are,
think
though. You
everything's
know
all
what I mean?
right.
That's just how cold people are, though. You know what I mean? Like, like they're just very cold. You know what I mean? So,
It's okay. They're gonna
yeah,
keep being they're gonna keep being cold until you just feel like your life is not going nowhere. You're gonna feel dead on the inside. That's what's gonna happen. Every
dude.
guy, every guy you
Mm.
meet, man, that guy's just gonna be. They're gonna be the same doughboy from around the corner, just slinging rocks and whatnot, shooting guns, shooting dice.
Man, dude, like you said it though, man. I'm like, wait a minute.
They keep beating the
It
same
makes
dudes
perfect sense.
over and over again.
But at the same time, though, but it was like she was my darkest days, though. You know what I mean? And so that's what got me going, though. Like the back to my grind mode. You know what I mean? Like back to being better. You know what I mean? Instead of me, being all cold, and being all disrespectful. You know what I mean? Like I was like, yeah. Let me just go back like to being me, So
Yeah, that's one thing I could probably say too about like everybody has their dark days, whatever you want to call it, but sometimes one thing that I've learned for myself is to learn to stop being so passive. Like the sometimes you got to take action in life and take matters into your own hands, and then sometimes it's necessary for you to sit back and observe and learn more that way too. So you need like a good balance of both. Like you need to know when to react, and then you need to know when to to start spectating and whatnot. To start to be a little bit more vigilant on a lot of things in life too. Because it's like I said, a lot of times bad people will come into your life when everything looks like it's finally clearing up for you.
yep. Just to make things bad for you like all over again.
That's how you get blindsided. It's like they said,
Yeah.
betrayal never comes from the people you expect it to. So that's when it's coming. You know, when you get
Oh
stabbed in
yeah.
the back, it's 9 times out of 10 when you got your guard lowered.
Dude. That's how
So
come.
yeah,
That's how come. Like for me, um, that's how come. Like when you when you start to like to be in your own lane, watch how it's going to be those same people that will try to come back around, and not just that though, but then like new people like will just come by too. You know what they say, right? You know, the money talks, but the people will come and go. Now, that's not what they're saying. Like, no, no, no. Let me take that back. That's not what it really is, though. But I don't know. Like, just cannot say it like on
yeah, I might
camera.
have heard something like that before.
Yeah, but but they did not use those exact words though. So
It's funny
uh,
because like everybody has different coping mechanisms. Like some people don't treat the problem. They tend to to run away from it. And maybe for some people that might be the best solution for them, but that's not how you get rid of your karma necessarily. Like you either tackle the problem head on, you see what you can learn from it, you see where your mistake comes into place at, and then you just see how you can slowly treat it over time. Like a lot of people are just too frightened and have. It's funny too because it's like some people have phobias over things that they never even encase themselves in. Like you ever have people that never encounter situations, but they feel like they're fearful of it, so they run away from it. They're frightened over situations that never happened to them.
all right. Oh yeah.
That could be their darkest days too. I notice that a lot of people do that. A lot of people don't necessarily want to get into arguments, right? So what's the first thing they do? It's like what we was talking about before. They end up blocking you. I'm like, you never been through a severe
Which is
argument.
so childish. Which is so childish, man.
It's like if
Blocking
you're
people.
let's put it this way: if you're an adult and you've never been through a severe argument, how don't you have the right judgment to be able to de-escalate situations before it even gets too either too violent or it gets too serious? I mean, clearly you should have some words of encouragement, like some serious, concerning words that are be able to, diffuse the whole thing. I mean, don't come up with excuses. Just take, responsibility into your own hands. Like I realize both parties had faults both parties had faults at hands, and just be able to just, learn and grow from the situations. But like I said, when people go through their dark days, they deal with it
Mm.
differently. Some people run from it, some people don't.
Now see, but my dark days, man, that joint like motivates me, man. For real, for real. It's like the people that turn their back on me, the people that block me. You know what I'm saying? Like just all those things, man. I'm like, man. You know what? It's all good. Cause say, man, at the same
If I could give
one.
it, if I could give advice, man, I would say your dark days they're best spent in times with people that can motivate you. You know what I mean? Because you can't do everything on your own. Once you realize there's strength in numbers, sometimes
Mm,
it's easier to what's the word I'm looking for? And like it's easier to amplify your power, and it's easier to amplify and achieve goals in life. Because there's no successful businessman or businesses of any kinds that's done just off the strength of one man alone. It's always he always communicated with people before him. He taken many things into account. He learned the most that he could, and he reached out. That's the main thing: is reaching out, putting your pride and integrity to the side, and allowing yourself to be vulnerable. Because the first thing you have to do is get rid of your reputation with yourself. That's the first how you can be, comfortable. If you don't want people to see you as
yeah,
something, see yourself as a student first.
absolutely,
That's the best thing you can do with your dark days.
man. But what you told me though, like before like we started this whole podcast thing though. I mean, what you told me before, like it made absolutely sense. As like, all right, you know, because eventually these people will come back. You know what I mean? But you cannot sit there and you just can't be waiting for them. You know what I mean? Because we don't even know like when that is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So
They'll be back, but at the same time, you got to stay vigilant. I mean, it's not. I don't believe it should be in the back of our mind to prepare for heartbreaks and then be able to go through a repair process and then keep doing it over and over and over again. Because mainly that's the symptom of a sick society and a damaged society right there too. But at the same time, it's like once those people they enter your life, they enter your life for a reason to teach you something about yourself and to teach you
yeah,
something that could be learned in the ordeal. And once you don't get it, you'll probably end up seeing it again and again and again until you learn how to conquer it. But yeah, those people will most definitely be back it's like if you have something to offer them, you know what I mean? Like if you show any signs of weakness that they realize they can capitalize on, they'll keep coming back over and over because they learn how to manipulate their whole well-being. Like they learn how to manipulate their voice so it sounds more concerning to you. That's another source of trickery right there. They learn how to use different posture techniques. That's what they call sexual signs right there, I think. Like body language. Body language. Yeah, I think that's body language.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I know a
Absolutely.
lot of things, man.
Oh man. Oh man.
They'll come into your life and do a lot of things, man.
But but for all the people out there, man, please use your okay. This is what I will say. Use your dark days as your motivation. Don't use it for a weakness. You know what I mean? Use it as of like use that for you to get your power back.
Use your dark days to experiment. When you're under stress,
Absolutely.
this is another thing you do. When you're under stress, this is how you can tell that people care about you. When you're under stress, see how willing they are to offer help to you. If they don't offer help to you, they don't give a damn about you. Simple.
Mm.
That's the way I could put it. When you're under help and they don't offer help to you, you see how they prioritize you. If you're under their primary, their primary care, then a lot of times they'll try to tend to you the best way that they can. But if they don't give you words of encouragement or they don't offer some sort of, empathy or see, empathy is better than sympathy because sympathy is this expressing sorrow, and this empathy, they know what it's like to relate to you. So obviously they feel fueled by what you're going through. You know what I mean? It's better to have
Oh
someone
yeah.
on your team than to have someone that sound like they're standing at a neutral point. That's what sympathy is, is expressed like. They're like, yeah, I feel sorry for you, blah blah blah. Yeah, no one wants
Mm.
to hear that. No one wants to hear that.
Yeah.
But that would make that person less valuable in that situation. Like you're less likely to go to them for help in that situation if they're only expressing sympathy.
Well, with that being said, man, we'll see y'all next week. All right. Roots of the Game is back 2021. Back stronger than ever.
Definitely.